hitting. Now it's written and kitten, hitting with mittens. I'm missing, wishing, man, listen. I glisten like sun and water while fishing.
Yeah, it's the Archivest, y'all. Exclusively interviewing Naughty by Nature.
Yes, sir.
Building.
You know why it's exclusive? Because he's the only guy in the room interviewing us right now.
Exclusive.
That's right. And who is the Grammy Award winning Naughty by Nature?
Right here. This is what we are, man. We in the building, man. 20 years strong in the game. Still putting it out there. Touring worldwide. Invading Canada, man. We here.
And tell us the history of the Rotten Rascals.
Wow. Well, the Rotten Rascal comes from... One member is my little brother. His name is Diesel Jihad. So we have relations from way back to the womb type things, you know what I mean? And the other is like my other brother, and actually KG's brother-in-law, Fam. So once they got together, they were a little menace, man. They were mini naughties, man. They had the skills, they grew up under us, they knew how to make records, they knew how to do it. K had a great group, Jane, which introduced Fam. He was featured on Hey Mr. DJ. And after that, everybody was looking like, who is this cat? And what are they coming with? And they knew everything that was coming from Jersey was official once we put the stamp on it. So,
didn't you name them the Rotten Rascals?
Yeah, actually they asked, they wanted a name, and I came up with a few different, names and everything else. As soon as they saw Rotten Rascals, they was like, that's it right there. We need that. And Diesel actually drew the logo.
My man just asked me, the other dude, the promoter guy, he just asked about Rascals too.
Yeah.
He just asked, he said, he was talking about Hey Mr. DJ. He said he wanted to know if Hey Mr. DJ was originally supposed to feature y'all on it.
Well, actually, see, Naughty is not stingy. You know what I mean? We was hot blazing at the time and everything else, and that type of record was so hot that we knew we was going to work with the Rascals and everything else, and had that stamp. We had to put them on something that'll really bring them out and catapult them. So it was a perfect setup for them to come out under that record. And then you see years later, it's like the way the tracks is and the way Kate put it down, it's like it's timeless. Because after that, to me, it came out with the same hook. It had a hit on a record after that, because it's just so strong of a sound and a brand. So it was a beautiful thing, man.
I also know about that record. It's one of the rarest records of all time, and it's actually one of my favorites. That's why I asked the question.
Nice.
For sure. And the name, Naughty by Nature, is catchy and on point. Let us know how it formed and became platinum.
Well, actually, we were a group called New Style. Same 3 members. We came up through high school, junior high, and everything through the same hood. Was rocking, doing talent shows, doing everything. We felt as though, and even we named ourselves New Style after the Beastie Boys record. It's the New Style. We needed a name for a talent show, and we really didn't have one. So we was like, yo, we New Style for right now. It was cool. It was the late 80s. But coming out and really having a real deal coming through Tommy Boy, he was like, yo, we gotta really give a name that means something to us, that's past that New Style, that's kind of dated. And Naughty by Nature was actually a title of a song that we done while we were the New Style. And I was just going through titles and everything. We was soul searching for a name, and I was stuck on Naughty by. I'm like, yo, I think we should be Naughty by Nature. And it's like, a lot of people was like, it's too long, people might not remember. I'm like, nah, it's like Naughty by Nature is like, everybody is Naughty by Nature, at least a little bit. So we wanted a name that could not just describe us, but everybody could feel a part of, that supported us.
And OPP, how does it feel to have one of the most successful rap songs in history, with critical acclaim and well known to the TV shows such as the classic Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and The Office?
Wow. It's this, you know what? It's an ode to fornication. It's an ode to infidelity. That's been going on before we existed. It's going to be here far after we're gone. So that's something that was just a blessing, OPP. I remember going back and forth with management at the time about whether that should be the lead single or Ghetto Bastard should be the lead single. And I remember telling management, yo, you mean to tell me people aren't down with other people's pussy?
Boing, boing.
Yo, it's a no-brainer. So history proved that it was a no-brainer.
And your song Uptown Anthem being featured on the Juice soundtrack, and Tretch, yourself getting an acting role in the 1992 film Juice. How was this for your career?
Oh, it was amazing. First and foremost, got to give a big shout out to my little brother, rest in peace, Tupac Shakur, which got me in the movie. You know what I mean? Got me in the movie. I actually went through Flavor Unit, Blessing, Shakim and Latifah. I actually read for the same role for Bishop. And I went in there, I had no acting experience or anything like that. I read it like the lines like they was on a piece of paper, you know, when I tried out. So I basically wasn't even confident knowing I wasn't going to get the role. Tupac went up in there, handled it, did it, and we met. He was a roadie for Digital Underground. I was a roadie for Queen Latifah on the Heavy D Public Enemy tour in 1990. So once we met, it's like we had a bond from there. He was like, yo, I'm doing this movie. I said, word, I'm doing this album. He said, word, why don't you come and be in this movie? I'm like, man, he's like, no, come live with me out in the hotel in New York every day. I'm going to make sure you in the role. I'm going to start a movie. I can get you in it. And history speaks for itself. After that, we came out with OPP. The movie was out. They wanted us to put a song on it. Uptown Anthem was on that. And it was like...
Pac was in the video.
Pac was in the video, and it was history.
And having a close friendship with Tupac Shakur, tell us one of your best memories you two shared.
Probably one of the best memories is just, it's a lot of them, but just knowing like how his heart was. Anything he done it not just for himself, but for his family, his friends, his posse, his crew. It's like, it's so many memories, you can't just put one in place, but he had a heart of a lion, you know what I mean? And he just embraced everybody. He embraced everybody and wanted everybody. He didn't want everything for himself. He wanted to share it. He didn't feel like, you know, this was his world and everything revolved around him. He wanted everybody to be a part of it. If he had money, he wanted everybody else to. If he had a career, he wanted everybody else to. If he was on the road, he wanted to take everybody else out on the road. So he just had a heart of gold.
I want to share two of my favorite Tupac memories. I remember one when we were in... they were doing the Juice movie. So Tretch was over there, like he said, just living with Pac over there. And I remember Pac getting, he was probably like doing the movie for scale. So he was just getting his checks. And I remember him asking Tretch to take him around Harlem, where was the places to shop, and Tretch was doing that. But I remember being in the trailer, and one of the PAs came to ask Pac something. And when they left, they closed the door, but the door never closed all the way. So it kind of swung back open, and Pac stuck his head out, and he was in the Tony Montana voice. What are you doing? What do you think this is, Cuba? It's freezing out here, you know? And then I remember one time we were in the hotel with Pac as they were filming, and Tretch and Pac were freestyling. So they're just spitting rhymes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Pac asked me, come on, Vince, spit a rhyme. I'm like, look, man, I don't have no rhymes. I'm just an apprenticeship. He was like, oh, man, this is for real MCs. This is for real MCs, you know? But he was just spitting. They were going back and forth, back and forth. I was like, I'm out of my league, man.
And one of my favorite albums ever since I was 13, 1993, reaching #1 on the R&B hip-hop charts, and your video Hip Hop Hooray, directed by the infamous Spike Lee. How did this go for each of you in order to build who you are today?
Man, Hip Hop Hooray was basically, it's like, with that song, that was us giving props back to hip-hop. Not just hip-hop, like, for us doing hip-hop, but for all our forefathers, man, everybody we grew up on. It's like usually you get in the game and everybody's like, it's me, me, me. I do this, I changed the game, I made it. We always want to give some type of love back to our origins, the Mecca, New York, and, you know, just where hip-hop formated from. And Spike Lee was just a perfect person to come through and get that message across, you know what I mean, and get that visual across. So that was our way just to say, like, the world, we love y'all and everything else, but we're not hip-hop. As we are just the shit, we got it from somewhere, and we just want to give praise back to the game that started us and got us to where we are right now, and having us feed our families and living the life that you can only dream of.
And you guys got any shouts?
Shout outs to, man, everybody that's been supporting, man, all our fans, man, throughout the years, from the U.S. to Canada, from overseas, every end and tucker of the world, man, and just keep supporting and look out, because Naughty ain't going nowhere. We gonna be here and we gonna be back at you, man.
Peter Jackson, man, he's the hardest working MC up here. We see him. He's done coast to coast tours with us. He's his own booking agent. He's booking tours for us himself. His grandkids who aren't even born. He's the hardest working guy in Canada, man. So
That's right.
His day is definitely coming. I'm talking about on an international level.
And Naughty is featured on his album that's out now. Go pick up Peter Jackson's LP. Believe it.
And this is the Archivest, and you already know the name, y'all.
The Archivist is in the building. Naughty by nature, man. Reppin'.